Hey guys, it's Bradley. Welcome back to another video. This is my channel, Portly Gentleman. If you like videos around electric home brewing, high-end home brewing equipment, brew tools especially, as well as a little bit of DIY, this is the place to be. Subscribe and come brew with me. In today's video, I'm brewing a double IPA. Well, hopefully it winds up being a double. And I'm also going to share with you my first experience with the Brewtools Trubinator. This guy will be released early next year. I'd like to clear up one thing in my last video. The silicone here, as well as the screen replacements, will be available from day one once the product is officially launched. All right, let's jump right into the double IPA brew day. Research it, mash it, boil it, ferment it, drink it, analyze it, share it. Home brewing is good. All right, guys, welcome. First thing you do is drop in the malt pipe, make sure you guys have that into position. It can be kind of tricky. Next, I'm adding all of my water salts. I build up from RO. I have a basic RO system. Anyone wants to see that build, comment below. But lots of salts going in. Getting that water profile just right for double IPA. Last one is going to be a little bit of an acid adjustment. Next, I'm doing in just my basic grain brush, 1.2 millimeters. Pretty standard. This is the entire process real fast. I'm not too experienced with these bigger beers. I actually dump in a little bit of rice hulls. I'd ordinarily consider it contraband, but what do I know? There's 40 plus pounds in here, and I actually added a little bit too much. I barely added, I think, 8 ounces, a couple handfuls, or a handful even, and it drained a little bit faster than I would have wanted, but I don't want to give it away too early. So there, it's all going in. Just make sure you stir it in really well. Got the laser cut filter in there, and just make sure it's all mixed up and there's no dough balls. Really work it. Obviously forgot the center pipe, but you can add it later. The laser cut filter fits so well. Next, I like to recirculate a little water on a thicker mash like this, just to make sure everything is fully lubricated, right? Lube up the grain. And I'm just about ready to start recirculating. Make a little mess when I start. And that's it, just my basic recirculation with the manifold. Nice and slow. I have the overflow pipe there. If you guys missed that video, check it out. It works a treat. It's very dependable and a must-have on a capacity grain bill like this one. I think I'm at the manufacturer specified limit. And there's the math a little bit longer after clarifying. It always clears up so nice, especially with the manifold. Just crystal clear and minimal channeling at this point. Note the outside of the kettle, the wort ripping around the pumps at 100% as I'm recirculating. I did rest for 20 minutes as well, or honestly probably about 10. I got antsy, wanted to get going. Notice there in the sight glass, it's starting to get almost clear even in that. There's my mash temp. It's just eking its way to 150. I didn't switch it to mash mode yet because I'm smart. Always be in mash mode. Luckily, I didn't scorch anything. There we are, close to mash out right now. A little bit closer to mash out. Starting to get clear. Can't tell from this footage here. All right, I finally put it in mash mode. Notice it was a little cool. I used that mash temperature probe and waited till I got up to temp. It didn't take long. It's super handy. Here we are, just mashing out. About this point, I was at an acceptable temp within the malt pipe. There, I'm dialing back the flow a little bit. Once everything warmed up, it started to stick a little bit. I have the overflow pipe, but I can't help. I still like to do as much manually as possible, guys. I really like control of my brew process. All right, I'm just about mashed out right now. Notice it's clear. I channeled a little bit because I cranked up the pump, but that's just fine. This is just pouring, just sliding pouring of shiny stainless in my new sink. Love the sink. Here's the mash sped up real fast. Just to get an idea what it looks like and just how stable that level really is. Ready to sparge now. I just purged my lines with this pressure relief valve and this little baby T. It works a treat. lifting the malt pipe. The voice makes it so easy and so painless. I like to take my time and fuss with it. Get the feet hooked. The back one, drop it down to take a little tension off. There's the Sparge starting. I made a mess. Pump was at 100. I don't recommend that. Notice I picked up that overflow pipe a tiny bit. And this guy, it ran really quick. I think it was less than 8 ounces of rice holes, which was too many. It doesn't take a lot, just a dab will do you. But nonetheless, my efficiencies were acceptable. Hey, have you subscribed yet? You don't want to miss that Brewtools Unitank content when it comes out. Right, there it is after my second start of the pump, once everything kind of got saturated and soaked up. There we are, Sparging about complete. Nice easy Sparge. Pick it up so I can see my my final volume here. Got to collect a little bit. I came up a little short. I recently moved around my brewing table, so I need to adjust some calculations. You guys want to see a video on how to figure all that out? Something I could produce? Comment below once again. And as I'm waiting, I'm ramping up to the boil. Notice my new sink fits this mash tun perfectly. Make cleaning up a breeze. Just about to the boil here. Stirring in that protein. I always stir it in. I've never been one to skim it. What do you guys do? And there we are. Finally in manual mode. Came up to a boil. Everything looks good. Getting ready for the star of the show. A bunch of hops. And of course, the Trubinator. And this thing, I cleaned it up with TSP first and PBW. Highly recommended before you put anything new in your process. Make sure it's clean. Don't take a chance. If you have a giant sink, it makes it easier. You can only drop it in once. So here it goes. Just drop it in. Oh, hold on. No. I can do it again. This is YouTube. YouTube time. All right, I took it all the way out. All right, real slow. Look at me fiddling around, sausage fingers. I'm getting burned. Boom. All right, all there was to do was hook up the steam condenser. Obviously got the steam hat on there. Got my beloved steam hat light. Guys, I'm still waiting on an official one. Everyone needs this. First hop drop going in. This is a good amount of hops, at least for me. Don't do a ton of IPAs, guys. This is about 3 or 4 ounces of hops. Steam condenser running into my bucket as usual. I save that for cleanup, typically. It's time for another hop drop. IPAs take lots of hops every now and then. Here we go. I think the total amount of hops with everything in this one was a little over a pound, half a kilogram, I think, half a kilo. So I'm getting better at metric conversion, but not great. And once again, that steam condenser, it's a must-have. No steam, no fuss, less power, more malt flavor, easier cleaning, you gotta have it. There's my hops. And Imperial Independence, I participated in a yeast experiment. I really liked that yeast strain, so I'm trying it. This beer is actually from my father. He requested a double IPA, and, well, I'm a brewer, so I brew beer. Time for my last additions in the boil. Yeast nutrient, wolf lock tablets. Timer's up. I whacked it right down to my hop stand temperature. Trying to get in my steeping hops, my whirlpool hops. It's a good amount of hops there going in. You see I am already whirlpooling at this point. I'm back to the bypass and trying to hold temperature stable at my predetermined temperature. And it's lots of hops going in. I'm not used to this, guys. I don't know what to do, but I can assure you it smells amazing. hot. Yeah, there was extra one. There it goes. And this is a Whirlpool sped up a good amount. I think this is 400 times faster. Back to normal frame rate. There it is at actual speed now. I'm transferring, just starting to transfer, bringing that temperature down. And you see that big mass of hops. It's going to sink right down. Per my method, there's probably easier ways to do it. This is how I do it. Try my way. Try your own way. Let me know what you guys think. Be sure to check out my video, Perfect Whirlpool Every Time. There it is sped up again as I'm transferring. You can start to see it. The Trubinator's down there. And notice all the hops were pretty much contained. Very little wound up not being contained. Nothing's going to be perfect in this instance, guys. I think placement of this thing is critical. I'll elaborate that in future videos. I did have to slow down the transfer. It did get kind of clogged up with Trub. Not as bad as other options in the market, but I think it's going to be unavoidable. But I backed my transfer down to about 30%. Everything was just fine. That may be dependent on transfer hose size as well. About time to pitch the yeast. I couldn't get it that cool. My groundwater's still pretty warm. There's my 5-valve setup, or part of it. I'm a big fan of this, actually. More valves are more complicated and thusly more better. So that's kind of what's left at the end here. It worked really, really well. Better than anything else I've tried. Definitely makes it easier. I'll even use this on smaller beers, Pilsners. It absolutely helps. And it's super easy to use. Towards the end, I wound up transferring a little bit of gunk. There you can see it. Thought it was important to share. Like I said, nothing's going to be perfect. You're still going to have some stuff on the edges, but this blocks the lion's share of it. And that's it. Everything transferred. My losses were actually pretty good. You know, all those hops soaked up a little bit more work than I had accounted for. I'm not used to this style. Only thing I didn't cover here, guys, is cleaning. Cleanup's a snap. It went really, really easy and quickly, and everything drained out and was ready to go. All right, everyone, there we have it. My first experience with this guy. I will be releasing another video in about a month, hopefully, where I have some ideas for techniques and uses for this. They're going to be my standard operating procedures, as well as some positioning ideas, but I need to brew more and experiment more before I could share my full opinions with you guys. But this is my first brew day. It was quite successful. Obviously, this thing worked great. I can't thank everyone enough for your support. I couldn't do this without you, honestly. I really couldn't. There'd be no reason to be here. So I really appreciate all the comments and everyone cheering me on. It means a whole lot. So make sure you subscribed. Remember, home brewing is good. This has been Bradley, and I'll see you real soon.